Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Akhil and today we are diving deep into what many consider the gold standard of pricing and feature optimization research, conjoint analysis. If you have ever struggled with questions like which features are my customers really willing to pay extra for? Should I prioritize this feature? How much should I charge if I include certain premium features? And how do I maximize my product's market share? Then you are exactly in the right place. In today's video, I'll break down this powerful methodology that has revolutionized how companies design and price their products. Though conjoint analysis might sound complex, and honestly, the math behind it can sometimes be, the core is actually quite intuitive, and the insights it provides are unmatched. Quick heads up, this is a detailed guide designed to give you immense value. So take notes. And don't forget to check the description for additional resources and helpful guides. So ready to become a conjoint analyst pro? Let's dive in. First things first, let's get clear on what conjoint analysis actually is and why it's so powerful. At its core, conjoint analysis is a research technique that helps you understand precisely how your customers value different attributes or features of a product or service. Here's the magic behind it. Instead of asking customers directly, hey, do you like this feature? Or would you pay more for this? Conjoint analysis simulates actual buying decisions by asking customers to choose between multiple product configurations repeatedly. Imagine you're buying a new smartphone. Conjoint analysis might present you with different models, each with varying features and prices, and then ask you to pick your preferred option. After several of these choice scenarios, patterns start emerging that reveal your true preferences. The name conjoint actually comes from the idea that we are studying the relative values of attributes considered jointly rather than in isolation. And that's the key insight that makes this method so powerful. You see, when you directly ask people how much they value a specific feature, like say, how important is battery life in your smartphone purchase decision, you will often get answers like very important. But so will screen size, camera quality, storage, and so on. Suddenly, everything is very important, which is not very helpful for making product decisions. In other words, conjoint reveals what customers truly value, simply by observing their choices, not just listening to their words. Now, there are several reasons conjoint analysis has become the go-to method for serious product and pricing decisions. First, it offers real-world accuracy. Unlike surveys asking direct questions, conjoint simulates actual marketplace decisions, making the results extremely reliable. People are much better at telling you what they would choose than abstractly rating how much they would value something. Second, you get detailed feature level insights. Conjoint clearly identifies the value each specific feature adds to your product, guiding smarter product development and prioritization decisions. You will know exactly which features to focus on and which ones are not worth the investment. Third, it provides optimal pricing clarity. Conjoint shows you exactly how much customers are willing to pay for each feature or a combination of features, enabling you to build ideal pricing tiers that maximize both adoption as well as the revenue. Fourth, you can simulate market scenario. Once you have your conjoint results, you can model how different product configurations would perform in the market before investing in development. It's like having a crystal ball for product decision. The business impact of these insights can be tremendous, obviously. Conjoint helps you design products that customers actually want, optimize pricing by understanding exactly how much customers value each feature, simulate market scenarios before launch, and identify distinct customer segments with different preference patterns. And perhaps most importantly, conjoint analysis transforms subjective opinions into objective, quantifiable data, which makes product decisions less about internal politics and more about customer value. So let's quickly touch on different conjoint types, so you know which one fits your scenario the best. Choice-based conjoint, CB or CBC. This is the most common method today, and for good reason. Customers choose their favorite from several full product profiles, typically 3 to 5 options in each choice task. It closely resembles real buying situations, making results very accurate. CBC is the gold standard for most modern applications, particularly for consumer products, SaaS, and digital services. Adaptive conjoint analysis, also called ACA. This approach adjusts questions dynamically based on a respondent's earlier answers. It is perfect for dealing with large numbers of features since it focuses the questions on attributes that matter most to each respondent. If you are testing many features, let's say 10 plus, this might be your best option. Now, full profile conjoint. This traditional approach shows customers complete products described by all features at once. Respondents typically rate each profile on a scale rather than choosing between alternatives. It is ideal for simpler scenarios with fewer features but has largely been replaced by CBC. Menu-based conjoint. This newer variation is perfect for products where customers build their own packages by selecting from a menu of options. Think about configuring a car, customizing a computer, or building a subscription package. Rather than evaluating predefined bundles, respondents select the features they want at different price points. Today, we will primarily focus on choice-based conjoint, CBC, since it's most widely used and relevant for modern product and pricing decisions. Alright, let's get practical. Here is a step-by-step approach to performing a conjoint analysis effectively. Step 1. Clearly identify your attributes and levels. Start by identifying the specific features or attributes you want to test. For example, if you are analyzing a project management software, your attributes might include things like storage capacity, integration capabilities, different reporting features, and obviously pricing tiers. The key is selecting attributes that genuinely drive purchase decisions while keeping the total number manageable. Typically 4 to 7 attributes to 5 levels each. Including too many creates overwhelming complexity. Too few misses important factors. Step 2. Design your conjoint survey. Now you will create multiple product profiles, each with different combinations of these attributes and price points. You will need specialized software for this. The software will create an optimal design that tests the right combinations without requiring thousands of questions. Typically, respondents will answer 8 to 15 choice tasks, each asking them to select from 3 to 5 product options, plus none of these options. Step 3. Collect responses. Run your survey among a representative sample of your target customers. Usually, you should aim for at least 200 to 300 responses for a statistically significant insight. If you plan to analyze multiple segments separately, you'll need adequate sample sizes within each segment. Quality matters as much as quantity here. Your respondents should be in your target market and genuinely interested in the product category. Poor quality responses from people who don't care about your product will definitely produce meaningless results. Step 4. Analyze the results. This is where the magic will happen. Your software crunches the data to reveal precisely how customers value each feature, which is also known as part worth utilities, and how sensitive they are to different prices. These utilities show how valuable each feature level is to customers. Higher utilities indicate features customer value more. Lower utilities obviously indicate features less critical to customer choices. For instance, you might find customers place enormous value on unlimited integrations, but minimal value on premium support. With these insights, you can adjust your offering to match actual customer priorities. Step 5 would be interpret and implement. Finally, use these insights to design product bundles, pricing tiers, and feature roadmaps which would be aligned precisely with customer willingness to pay and their preferences. You can also simulate market scenarios to predict how different product configurations would perform, helping you optimize before launch rather than after. Now, once your data is analyzed, you'll get several key outputs that transform into actionable business insights. Let me break these down to simple, practical terms. Part worth utilities. These are the foundation of conjoint analysis. These are numerical values that show how much each feature level contributes to customer preference. While the actual numbers are on an arbitrary scale, their relative values reveal what matters most. For example, if unlimited storage has a utility of 2.5, when 24/7 support has a utility of 0.8, you know storage is roughly 3 times more valuable to customers than premium support. Importance scores. These percentages show how much influence each attribute has on the overall decision. If price has an importance score of 35%, feature A has 25% and feature B has 15%, you know that pricing is the driving decision more than any single feature. but features combined may outweigh price. Monetary value calculation. This is where Conjoint gets really powerful for pricing decisions. Since price is one of the attributes tested, you can calculate how much money each feature is worth to customers. For example, if upgrading from basic to advanced reporting has the same utility difference as dropping the price by $10 a month, you can say that advanced reporting is worth about $10 a month to the average customer. You will also see price elasticity very clearly now. For instance, you may find customers are more comfortable paying up to $50 a month if you offer certain high utility features, but only $25 if you skip them. That's pricing clarity at its best. Market simulation. Perhaps the most exciting capability is predicting market share for different scenarios. Want to know if you should launch with configuration A or B? The Conjoint simulator can tell you which would likely capture more market share. You can also model competitive scenarios. If we price at $X and competitor Y prices at $Z, what share can we expect? These simulations are incredibly valuable for strategic decisions. Now, segmentation insights. Don't just look at overall averages. The real power often comes from discovering distinct customer segments with different preferences. For example, you might find that enterprise customers value integrations 5 times more than small business customers, while small businesses are much more price sensitive. This could lead to segment-specific product offering that maximize value across customer base. With these insights in hand, now you are equipped to make data-driven decisions about product features, pricing, and positioning that align with actual customer values, not just internal opinions or assumptions. Let's see how conjoint analysis works in practice with some compelling examples across different industries. Case 1, SaaS product optimization. A B2B software company, say offering a project management platform, would want to redesign their pricing tiers. They had 15 features, but were not sure which one should be in which tier and how to price the tiers optimally. They ran a conjoint analysis with 350 potential customers, testing various feature bundles and different price points. They included competitor offerings to understand competitive positioning. The results revealed 3 distinct customer segments with different needs. Segment 1, which was 35% of the market, cared most about core task management and simplicity and was highly price sensitive. Segment 2, 40%, was particularly interested in integration capabilities and reporting with moderate price sensitivity. The third segment, which was 25%, valued advanced features like resource optimization and custom workflows and showed very low price sensitivity. Instead of their original plan for 2 tiers, they created 3 tiers specifically designed for these segments, which you can see on the screen. This segmented approach increased their total revenue by 65% compared to their previous pricing structure. Another case study in consumer electronics feature prioritization. A smartphone manufacturer was planning their next generation of devices and needed to understand which features would drive upgrade decisions. Now they conducted a choice-based conjoint with 1200 existing customers and 800 competitor customers, testing attributes including processors, speed, camera capabilities, battery life, screen size, storage options, and obviously price point. The results showed something fascinating. While their engineering team had been focusing on processing power improvements, the conjoint revealed that camera quality and battery life were 3 times more important to the customers, obviously. Now, even more interesting, they discovered that the value of camera improvements was not linear at all. Upgrading from a 12 megapixel to a 48 megapixel was highly valued, but further upgrades to 108 megapixel delivered minimal additional perceived value. Now, based on these insights, they reallocated their R&D budget to focus solely on camera and battery improvements, offered the 48 megapixel camera across all the models, and reserved the 108 megapixel camera for only their highest end device as a differentiator rather than a value driver. The resulting product line achieved 40% higher first month sales than the previous generation. That's impressive. Third case, a cloud storage services. Imagine a cloud storage SaaS needing to decide which features justify premium pricing tiers. So they tested all of these options that you see on the screen here. After running conjoint analysis among 300 customers, this is what they discovered. Customers highly valued Salesforce integration and unlimited storage, were willing to pay significantly more for these. The customers placed minimal value on phone support compared to chat support. Price sensitivity varied dramatically by customer size. Armed with these insights, this cloud storage company restructured their tiers. They created a basic tier with email support, basic integrations, and 100 GB of storage, a business tier with chat support, Slack integration, and 500 GB storage, and a premium tier with Salesforce integration, unlimited storage, and phone support. This strategic tiering, based directly on measured customer values, increased their conversion rate by 34% and average revenue per user by 27%. These case studies demonstrate the concrete business impact of replacing assumptions with data-driven insights about actual customer preferences. Conjoint transforms abstract customer feedback into actionable product and pricing decisions, to put it simply. Now, no method is perfect. So let's honestly assess the strengths as well as the limitations of conjoint analysis. First, let's start with the pros of conjoint analysis. First and foremost, you get extremely accurate insights that reflect real-world behavior. Since conjoint simulates actual purchase decisions rather than asking hypothetical questions, the results are far more reliable than what you would get from standard surveys. It provides quantified feature values showing exactly how much each attribute and level contribute to customer preference. Customers might want this kind of statements into precise measurements that guide investment decisions. The ability to calculate monetary values for features is incredibly powerful for pricing. Instead of guessing how much to charge for premium features, you will know exactly what customers are willing to pay for each and every element of your offering. Market simulation capabilities let you test countless scenarios before committing resources. This virtual test market can prevent costly mistakes and identify optimal configurations that might not really be obvious. This segmentation analysis reveals preference differences that might be masked in overall averages, allowing for targeted product development and marketing strategies. Now, to the cons of conjoint analysis. Conjoint analysis is definitely more complex to execute than simpler methods like Westendorp or direct surveys. It requires specialized software, careful design, and expertise in analysis and interpretation. The method also requires a significant investment in terms of time, expertise, and budget. While simpler pricing research can be done quickly and cheaply, a proper conjoint study typically takes several weeks and requires specialized resources. There are obviously respondent limitations too. The conjoint analysis can become overwhelming if you include too many attributes or complex concepts. This can lead to respondent fatigue and less reliable data if not carefully designed. From a practical standpoint, conjoint is also limited in how many attributes it can realistically include. Usually 6 to 8 maximum before the task becomes too complex. If your product has dozens of features, you need to prioritize which ones to test. Finally, conjoint works best with concrete, easily described features. It can struggle with emotional benefits or brand perceptions that are harder to articulate in a survey format. But here's the bottom line. When done correctly, the insights from conjoint analysis are so valuable that they typically far outweigh these limitations, especially for major product and pricing decisions. So when should you choose conjoint analysis? Great question. Because choosing the right method matters tremendously for getting actionable insights. You should use conjoint analysis when, say, you are launching a new product or major new feature set and need to understand which features to prioritize based on customer value. This prevents the all too common mistake of investing in features that engineering thinks are important, but customers don't actually value. You have multiple features and need clarity on how customers value them relative to each other. Conjoint is the perfect for understanding these trade-offs in a way simple surveys usually cannot capture. You are considering restructuring your pricing tiers and want accurate feature value trade-offs. This ensures your tiers align with how customers actually value different feature combinations, maximizing both adoption and revenue, obviously. You need to understand how your product would fare against specific competitors. Conjoint can also include competitor products in the mix, helping you identify your strongest competitive positions. You want to identify distinct customer segments based on preferences rather than just demographic. Conjoint often reveals fascinating preference-based segments that wouldn't be obvious from traditional market research. However, Conjoint might not be the best choice when, say, you need a simple price range for a straightforward product. In this case, methods like Van Westendorp or Gabor-Granger might be faster and more cost efficient. You have very limited time or budget for research. Conjoint requires more investment than simpler approaches. So if you need quick directional insights, other methods might be more appropriate. Now, your product is truly revolutionary with no market context. If consumers have no frame of reference for your innovation, they may struggle to make meaningful trade-offs in a conjoint exercise. The bottom line, if you are facing complex trade-offs and high-stakes decisions about features, pricing, and positioning, conjoint analysis is your gold standard. For simpler questions, simpler methods will suffice. Now, let's discuss common pitfalls and how you can avoid them. Even well-intentioned conjoint studies can go off track if you are not careful. Attribute overload. One of the biggest mistakes I see is companies trying to test too many features at once. When respondents face 12 plus attributes, they get overwhelmed and start using simplifying shortcuts rather than evaluating all factors. How to avoid it? Prioritize ruthlessly. Focus on 4 to 7 attributes that most drive purchase decisions. Conduct preliminary research to identify these key drivers. If you truly need to test many attributes, consider using an adaptive conjoint or running multiple studies. Unrealistic price ranges. Setting price levels that are too extreme can distort your results. If you include prices that are absurdly low or impossibly high, respondents won't take the survey seriously. How to avoid it? Use price ranges that reflect realistic market conditions and your actual strategic options. Typically, this means spanning from slightly below market rates to somewhat above what you expect to charge, not extreme values that would never be implemented. Vague attribute descriptions. If respondents don't clearly understand what a feature means or how levels differ, they cannot make informed choices. Vague descriptions like good performance versus excellent performance leave too much room for interpretation. How to avoid it? Use very specific quantifiable descriptions whenever possible. Instead of subjective terms, say loads in 2 seconds versus loads in 5 seconds. Include brief explanations for technical features that may not be understood easily. Poor sample quality is another problem. A conjoint analysis is only as good as the people you survey. Using convenient samples or respondents with no interest in your product category will produce meaningful results for sure. How to avoid it? Take time to properly screen respondents to ensure they are in your target market and have relevant purchase interests. Use attention checks to identify and remove respondents who are not taking the survey seriously. Another issue is ignoring segmentation. Looking only at aggregate results can hide crucial differences between customer groups. What appears moderately important overall might be extremely important to one segment and completely irrelevant to another. How to avoid it? Always explore segment differences in your analysis. Look for natural preference-based segments in addition to analyzing for demographics, company size, or other traditional segments. By simply being aware of these common pitfalls, you can now design conjoint studies that deliver reliable, actionable insights rather than misleading data. Let's bring all this together with a comprehensive example that walks through the entire process from planning to implementation. The business challenge is a mid-sized software company which provides marketing automation tool was facing increasing competition. Their product had evolved over years, adding features based primarily on competitor matching rather than customer value. They needed to redesign their product and pricing structure to better align with customer needs. Their specific objectives were to identify the most valued features across different segments, optimize their pricing tier structure, and decide which features to prioritize next. And obviously, determine how to position against key competitors. The research approach. They started with qualitative interviews to identify potentially important features, and then ran a max diff study to narrow down the list to the 8 most important attributes for the conjoint study. The list, you can see the list on your screen. They also included key competitor products as reference points, how they implemented the survey. They collected responses from 650 qualified professionals involved in marketing software purchase decisions, ensuring adequate representation of different company sizes and industries. Respondents completed 12 choice tasks, each presenting 4 product options plus a none of the above option. The survey also included questions about current solutions, pain points, and firmographic details. The conjoint analysis revealed several crucial insights. Overall, price and integration capabilities had the highest importance score of 22% and 19%, followed by automation complexity and analytics capabilities. However, segmentation analysis identified 3 distinct segments with dramatically different preference patterns. First segment at 42% was efficiency seekers. Smaller companies focused on automating basic tasks. Highly price sensitive valued simple interfaces and basic automation. Second segment at 35% was data-driven marketers. Mid-sized companies with established marketing operations. They placed highest value on analytics capabilities and integrations. The third segment at 23% was enterprise scalers. Larger organizations with complex needs. They valued advanced automation, extensive integrations, and dedicated support. They had a very low price sensitivity. The monetary value analysis showed that enterprise customers would pay up to $70 more per user for advanced automation capabilities, while small businesses valued this at only $18 more. Competitive simulation revealed their current product was strongly positioned against competitor A, but vulnerable to competitors B and C, particularly in the mid-market segment. Strategic implementation based on these insights, the company developed a 3-tier product and pricing strategy, as you can see on the screen now. For product development, they prioritized expanding integration capabilities, which was high value across all segments, enhancing analytics for the mid-market tier, and developing AI automation features for the enterprise tier. The results were impressive. 34% increase in overall conversion rates, 27% higher revenue per user, 18% improvement in customer retention, and 42% growth in enterprise segment where they had previously struggled. 1 year later, a follow-up study showed their value perception had improved significantly against key competitors, particularly in the mid-market segment. This case illustrates how conjoint analysis, when properly implemented, can transform product strategy and drive measurable business results. Alright, we covered a ton today, so here's a quick recap. Conjoint analysis is a powerful research method that helps you understand precisely how your customers value different features and how those features influence their willingness to pay. By simulating real-world buying decisions through repeated choice tasks, Conjoint reveals what customers truly value through their choices, not their words. The key benefits include extremely accurate insights that reflect real behavior, quantified feature values that guide development priorities, willingness to pay data for optimal pricing, market simulation capabilities to test scenarios before launch, and segmentation analysis that reveals distinct customer groups with different needs. While Conjoint does require more expertise and investment than simpler methods, the insights typically far outweigh those costs for significant product and pricing decisions. If you are considering implementing conjoint analysis for your business, here are some practical next steps. First, clearly define your business objectives and key decisions you need to inform. Conjoint is most valuable when focused on specific important choices. Next, decide whether to handle the project in-house or partner with a research firm. The quality of design analysis is critical to getting reliable results. Take time to identify the right attributes through preliminary research before launching your conjoint study. This step is very crucial for meaningful outcomes. When planning your budget and timeline, remember that conjoint requires significantly more investment than simpler methods, but provides much richer insights for major decisions. Remember that pricing is both an art and a science. The science of conjoint analysis provides robust data on customer preferences and willingness to pay, but the art comes in translating these insights into winning products and strategies. Check out the description below for links to helpful resources about conjoint analysis and tools to help you get started. Remember, this video is a part of our pricing methodology series. We have already covered Westendorp in a previous video, and we will be exploring other methods like Gabor-Granger and MaxDiff soon. Subscribe and hit the bell to make sure you do not miss those. If you found this deep dive valuable, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel reach more people who could benefit from these insights. drop a comment letting me know what pricing challenges you are facing or which methodology you'd like me to cover next. We read every comment and we use your feedback to plan future content. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, price wisely.